Okay, thanks everyone for rolling out here to EthVan here at DCTRL every Thursdays. Appreciate a few of you that showed up here. Just we know it's really warm and we got a few people that are going to be on their way, but we're making it happen here. So hello to everybody that's at home. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so I guess big things this weekend. I think the Nouns Running is going to happen, and we even have Adrian is around, and I heard he's going to show up. Yes. So I think Adrian will be there. He was one of the founder of the Nouns Running Club here in Vancouver. So that'll be sweet if he's around for that. So if you're looking to run 5K, meet at the Cactus Club in Cole Harbour. It's at noon. So Saturday at noon. Angel, you're going to be there? You're going to go running? You love running, I heard. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that, and then, yeah, I'm not sure what else we have here for next week for events and stuff. Yeah, just if you haven't already joined the EthVan groups there, the Telegram, or there's Discord and Telegram. Be sure to hop into those, scan those QR codes, and we'll get you in there. So you can check all that stuff out if you want to keep updated and everything. So, oh, you're already in. Perfect. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess let's just get into it here tonight. We've got Matthew with us here from.
Thanks for the invite. Yeah, thanks for the invite. Awesome. We're actually from Montreal, and we came for the week here, meeting with some investor, and then always coming here, which used to be called something else than DCTRL. I missed the other name.
Well, DCTRL.
Yeah, DCTRL. You call that DCTRL? No, DCTRL.
DCTRL, yeah. So DCTRL, because we had this, because of the whole DCTRL thing. Anyways, yeah. But I guess I don't know. We've been chatting a bunch here over the past few days and whatnot. It's been great to kind of get to know more and deeper about you and whatnot. But obviously, you're a longtime DGen here that's been kicking around in kind of blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, all this sort of stuff. What got you into it, and kind of how did you get in, and where were you at? Let's hear about that.
2013, still in University of Montreal. I started to look online because I back in the past I did a trip to Nicaragua, and then their money were going to just to drain. And then I look online how can you get out of a country when you don't have money? Find Bitcoin. I'm like, what the hell is that Bitcoin stuff? Back in the time was mostly used for Silk Road back in the time. But try to kind of understand that. I'm a robotic engineer, so I really interested in mining and understand how it works. So I started to mine in 2013. Quickly started to test for miners. So I was receiving free gear from Avalon, Bitmain, and all of this. And then I've learned about Bitcoin Embassy. Montreal had the Bitcoin Embassy, which was the first embassy in the world. It was in Montreal. Fun fact, Charlie Lee did Litecoin apparently in Bitcoin Embassy Montreal. So it was pretty cool. 2013 started to mine a lot. And then getting a lot of mining gear from China. I started to have my own mining facility. So end of university, I was just mining Bitcoin nonstop. So yeah.
At the university.
Yep,
paying for power. You were paying,
it's all recorded, but I'm gonna So beauty of electricity, you don't pay your electricity in university. So I maxed my apartment electricity. And then at one point I was like, I need more power. So I was renting the apartment of other students, paying them a bit of money to put miner in their room. That was good old time. Yep.
Hey, capital efficient.
Well
done.
I need more free electricity. Student need money. Hey, it's a win-win. I'm really happy. So
perfect. So what was the scene like in Montreal back then? Because there was the Bitcoin Embassy. We had mentioned Charlie Lee being there. We even had Naked Face or Boulier was.
Francis Boulier. Yeah. I mean, Vitalik was the creator of Bitcoin Magazine. He was coming to Montreal often because of the embassy. We were mining Bitcoin everywhere. We had Bitcoin scaling. Jesse from Kraken was often coming to Montreal. So it was really good. But at the time, it was Bitcoin we were kind of a bunch of nerds, really strange people. I remember Naked Face, when he was in suit, going to see the government to say hey, it's legit, we can do something. But people were laughing at us. So we're a bunch of nerds. We had the Bitcoin Embassy was owned by someone that made it in crypto. So it was free. It was really awesome. We were drinking Soylent. I don't know if anyone have ever lived.
I think when were you drinking the Soylent? What years was this?
Yeah, 20. 14, 15 probably. Yeah,
I think that was a big trend back then.
Yeah,
kind of in that.
yeah. They did one of the guy was working for MateSafe. I don't know if you know MateSafe.
Ooh, amazing.
Like,
yeah.
At the Bitcoin Embassy, and he was living strictly on Soylent. So they did an interview of him in War Magazine or whatever. It's like they came to Bitcoin Embassy, and like, that was like really good time. Like really nerdy, really super crypto oriented, but I don't know, maybe 25, 30 people. So really small. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that was. There was a bit of a scene here too. At the same time that kind of just as this place was starting to rise. But yeah, it's great. Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, they're old chairs, so. Nice. There we go. Look at that. Live in action. Perfect. So yeah, I guess like with all of this, like what did you find yourself getting into with crypto? Like what did you get into for?
Yeah.
What attracted? What did you dive into?
Mostly mining, really hard in mining, and then 20 whatever when Ethereum got out, we started to mine Ethereum. Fun fact, Naked Face mine Ethereum, even if he's a Bitcoin maxi.
Nice.
Yeah, I say that online, sorry. But yeah, he was mining Ethereum and all this. And then I'm actually a robotic engineer in biotech, and then I got a job in California, so I moved to California. And then my co-founder that I have with my company right now was a software engineer in Montreal, and I say like, look, I'm gonna be moving to California. I'm gonna make money there. I'm gonna buy more gear with the money I do in California, and we can just keep building the mining facility. So. We actually moved from our university apartment to Labrador. Just keep mining Bitcoin a lot. Doing all the mistake of Masternode. I don't know if you remember the time of Masternode with the Dash and all of this. I lost a lot of money in this. At the time, it was crazy also because you had like 200 different wallets. It was not the beauty of like having MetaMask and everything is EVM. It was just like everything, Black Coin or name it. But I was like a biotech engineer in California. From 2017 to 2020. We sold the company in 2019. And then after that, I kind of like became an angel investor a little bit in California. And then COVID hit, so I decided to come back in Montreal. And then when I came back, I was like, all right, I have a bit of money, like free time. 2019 was DeFi summer, 1920. So it was just like the perfect timing to just be young, a bit of money, free time, no job. I was like, all right, that's perfect. And I often when I speak to a bunch of people that did DeFi summer, they're like, 2019, if you were lucky to just like have nothing to do, that was your lucky day. So yeah.
So yeah, you dove into all this DeFi stuff and degenning around.
Yeah. Synthetex was the first one with Compound, and back in the time, the creator of Zapper was the name of the first Zapper was DeFi Snap. And it was tracking Synthetex and Compound. That was the only thing it was doing. So that was the few first one. And then after that, like Urine Curve and just everything got created. So yeah, that was just full-time degening, living in Montreal. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so now you're doing all these sorts of things, and you're like, okay, well, how do I track?
How do I understand that? Yeah, exactly.
How do you manage all this stuff?
It was crazy. Like, yeah, you have one wallet, you buy Ethereum. Sometimes I speak with people like, what do you do? Oh, I buy and I hold. Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. But if you go DeFi and you're like 2, 3, 4, 5 level deep, because I've seen like 5, 6 level deep, it's impossible to track.
So like when you're saying 5, 6 levels deep, like give us an example of like how deep down, like, cause I've been a few layers deep in, when I start telling people about what I've been doing with like, oh, you had Bitcoin, wrap Bitcoin. Well, then I went over to another network and then I went here and then I went compound. Anyways, but what are some of the crazy ones that you've seen?
You did a good example, like Bitcoin, you wrap it. So already your WBTC, you take that, you put that WBTC, whatever, USDC or WBTC ETH, in UniV3, and then you can also put it in any other like different LP, put that into Beefy. Like there's like so many, and then you take Beefy and you go Ajna. It's a new protocol, like it's like permissionless, RX-less lending. Put your Beefy position there, borrow USDC leverage again. So like you can go so deep that you don't even remember what was the first thing you did with this. And then Suel, the co-founder of Zapper, also invented the Zap system where you can actually do multiple stuff in one transaction. So you go deep into it manually, and then when you go out in one thing. So then you go back and your accountant asks you like, what was that? You put like Bitcoin at the beginning, and now you have ETH, but I don't understand what happened in the middle and how much you did money and all this. It's super complicated to track. I created a group with the state layer called DCV Capital, and a bunch of investors were like, we're still using Excel sheet. It's just kind of crazy, like a bunch of Excel sheet. And then when you have one wallet, two wallets, fine. When you have 40, 50 wallet, and you like, I think I play with 400 protocols, something like that, in different chain. Impossible, just impossible to do that manually. A lot of people, like I spoke with some degen that I like, Wifey, Maxi, or these guys that are really, really degen, and I'm like, how do you do it? It's like, I don't do it. It's just like, no, I like, it's just
You moved to Dubai.
Move somewhere else. Like, go where you don't need to track everything because it's just a nightmare. So yeah.
And that's what led you to
creating Octav. Yeah. My first kind of, so with the guy at DCV Capital, they were like, hey Matt, you've done a business in California, you know how to like manage this, like we'll give you money. So it was Mackie, Block Enthusiast, DCF guy, they kind of bootstrapped the idea at DCV, and they say, go build like a tracker. And I say, well, first thing first, I'll look what exists on the market, because like I can't believe that no one has the same problem as us. So I joined Zapper as a strategy lead, actually. That was my first kind of dabble into the data sphere. And then after 6 months, you realize like the vision was not aligned with what we wanted at DCV. Not the same, like they were more social oriented, NFT. There were different like idea behind Zapper. So I left and I started Octav to really find a way to actually just declare my own stuff. When I came back from California, I don't know if you know that as a Canadian, but like when you leave the country for more than 1 year, you became US resident, but Canadian citizen. And then when you come back, it's like if you never existed in Canada. So my credit score was 0 for the bank. Like nothing existed for me. It's like I don't have my driver license. Everything you need to start like if you're a kid. So you go to a bank, and I was like 27 years old. I want to buy a house. It's like, yeah, but you don't have any credit. I'm like, wait, I was born here. Where's my credit? Like, why? Like, I'm an engineer, had a good credit. No, you don't have any credit. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to withdraw money from crypto, and I'm going to buy it cash. I don't care. Like, I have the money to do that. Remove the money from crypto to the bank, freeze. Everything was frozen. Like, I can't do nothing. I was like, oof. Now I need to prove how I got this money first. So super complicated. So I did actually a voluntary disclosure. It's you go see the government and you say, hey, I owe you money. You don't know, but I know I owe you money. Give me a break. I'll find a way to do it. So the idea of Octav was really like to find a way to explain all the degening I've been doing since forever to be able to buy my house because bank didn't want to give me a credit. That's literally like that's the story. It's crazy.
So that's and like that's how it all started. So like, what's the elevator pitch on Octav then when you're going to give that? I mean, you kind of have done it here, but like, what's the?
Yeah, the elevator pitch is like we're a portfolio tracker, but I love to say like kind of a D-bank on steroid. Because like normally portfolio tracker right now they give you a portfolio. That's it. We want to have the historical data. We want to have all the transactions you've done before, at what price it was, and therefore what was your cost basis, what was your profit and loss on every transaction. Some country in the world are lucky. I think Netherlands, they have like a wealth tax. You pay 1% of your asset, that's it. In America, every transaction is taxable. In France, whenever you remove money from your crypto, you can pay there, but that's it. But in Canada and the US, technically, every transaction is taxable. So you have to know what was the price when I got the asset, what's the price now, what's my P&L. And every asset, even USDC, which is really fucked up, but even USDC is actually a crypto asset. Yeah. So if you bought at 99 cents and you sell at 1.01, you have a gain there. Yeah. So you really have to track everything, every price in and out. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sweet. That's it's going to be. I don't know how many people here are, doing their taxes, according, appropriately.
Just don't say anything.
Highly advised that everyone being a good citizen and whatnot, and making sure that you're up to snuff on all of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like when it comes to all this kind of, it gets really confusing, complicated stuff here. Yeah. What would you say is some of like the main things you find people are struggling with when it comes to like on-chain kind of like activity and data? And
it's the layer. It's like if you deposit in Aave, you get A8, you're good. You remove that, fine. It's like one asset. But as soon as you have like 2-3 different level, then it's just impossible to track. Because now you like A8 doesn't necessarily have a price, but you need to carry the price of the ETH that you put in Aave to get the A8 price cost basis, because you're going to deposit into another layer, and that layer need to have a cost basis and cannot be 0. So every asset that doesn't have a price feed because they're not liquid, you still need to track the price of these assets. So it's a nightmare when you do like complex DeFi stuff, which we're not. It's a lot PvP. There's still not that much people that do DeFi really deep. But if you're doing that as a daily job, like there's a lot of fun. We work a lot with Nason XYZ. They invested in us, and they have a liquid fund. We came here in Vancouver to also speak with Golden Bay Capital. It's another fund that invested in us and have a liquid asset fund. So there's a lot of people that actually have millions of dollars in liquid asset, and they're struggling to do that because they are doing complex strategy.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, yeah. Especially as you start like getting into these like layers and layers of things.
And chain and L2 and now L3 apparently and all this crazy stuff, which I don't know what people are going to do in L3, but I'm curious to see how it's going to work. Yeah.
We'll see where that goes. And I can't imagine like we start going to other like outside of because primarily like a lot of people are focused here EVM stuff.
And
but like
Solana now is new, but the infrastructure is horrible, to be honest.
Okay.
Like we've had EVM for quite some time. So like Etherscan exists, and there's like Alchemy, and there's a lot of like service provider for the data, even for RPC, QuickNode, and Fura, like a lot of different provider. But Solana is quite new still, and the infrastructure around that in the data set, like not the on-chain data, but the off-chain data, is really, really, really bad. So it's hard to get the information, and every time Solana go down, it's like, okay, what do I do? Or if they do reorg, it's kind of crazy. Like you think that like we always said, awesome, blockchain data is on chain, it's gonna be there forever. Yeah, but it's 0 and 1. It's not clear. Like you look at I'm now really used to it to like open Etherscan and like I can read that. But if you have someone from like traditional finance or anyone that's not deep in crypto, just open Etherscan. Like, what am I looking at? Like, over the price, you'll see the price of what was it at the time. If you want to know what's happening, open the data. You'll see what it is. Yeah. It's like, but I don't have any transaction. Oh, so you did it on Base? Oh, you have to go on Basecamp. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Like, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why like Octav, we're trying to kind of put that like human readable information there. Yeah. But the structure that we have to get is really hard. EVM is easier. But Solana is hard. Cosmos, I don't even want to start that. And everything that is UTXO. So Bitcoin is quite complex-ish, even if it's just transfer. Yeah. Because every time you transfer it to a different address. It's a new address. You split that, and so it's a bit more complex. EVM is quite beautiful at the end of the day when you look at how the structure is done.
Global state.
Exactly.
I don't know. I know what like I was recently at the Bitcoin convention there in Montreal, and just going in to talk about like layer 2 stuff and just like, we're still UTXOs. And I mean, I even asked the question like, well, what's we're doing all these like complex ideas here, whether it's liquid, lightning, and all these other maybe some covenants and some multi-sigs and this and that. It's like, why don't we just, if we're gonna go and do another layer off, and we're gonna do things maybe off of the layer 1, why are we not doing global state? It's just, I think it makes more sense it just seems easier. Yeah, it just really does.
We've tested it a lot with EVM, right? We've went through a lot of problem and we've solved some of them, not all of them, still a lot of work to do, but we've struggled to fix some stuff. Now they're trying to just do like all the Bitcoin maxi. Sorry if there's any Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I'm an early Bitcoin miner. But like they're like, it's not an L2. It's not a side chain. It's like, no, it is. It is literally this. So
yeah. Okay. If you were starting fresh in crypto, you're brand new to crypto and you're about to start fresh, what are some things that you would recommend to people to like establish a solid foundation for tracking and kind of management and all this?
Well, first of all, a hardware wallet. That's that's non-negotiable.
There we go.
It's just that's a good
Which ones?
Which one? Oh boy. Well, first of all, I'll say more than one, to be honest. Split your asset. Do not have everything on one hardware wallet. There's still a risk your own bank. Like, I don't know, your seed phrase, something happened. I don't know. Like, I have like metal stuff for my seed phrase and all this, but like, you never know. So more than one. Ledger is really good on the chip of security. I don't love the UX of it. Like using Ledger, it's like, but the security is good. They've done some problem with the firmware lately, like the tree stuff and pushing firmware without you being like okay with this. So but Ledger is like kind of a good one. I love Trezor. It's like
the oldest, the OG.
Yeah, it's the OG. It's the OG. Like I've started with Trezor, never switch away really from this, but it's good. Fun fact, if you have access to a Trezor, you can extract the seed phrase. Like the chip is not as secure as the ledger one. So, but I mean, you need to be really good because it's like electronic. But you can do it, so it's a bit less safe for this. You talked to me about
the Keystone.
Keystone. Yeah.
Keystone hardware wallet is my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
I've been fucking around with I don't know how many different hardware wallets at this stage.
Yeah.
I like it for it can be completely air gapped, so it's not connected to any devices. Like there's no Bluetooth, there's no Wi-Fi. It reminded me like when I first got the V2, the one years ago that I got. It reminded me so much of like, oh, this is what old Bitcoiners used to do with like taking their transaction to a offline machine, doing the signing on this like cold device that was just some dumb Linux machine, sign everything there, bring it back over with their USB. I mean, there's still a lot of problems with like transferring USB and data that's coming back and forth. So when I'm like, wait a sec, this is just passing through QR codes, just passing data there, and everything is human readable on a screen, and we can even add ABI packages to show me like, oh, this is a certain router, so I can actually pay attention to these sorts of things.
I'm wondering if you're an ambassador or being paid by Keystone, because you really seem to love that.
Yeah, well, at this stage, I'm like, so actually I finally got a referral link.
Okay.
So I do have
That's
one
good.
now. I was giving around I was giving people my discount code forever, so people were getting like good discounts. I'm like, maybe I should do something different here. I've been shilling this forever. But anyways, that's not I don't really care about that. I more just want to see people safe.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, I've lost, centralized exchanges. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
We don't want that. So we want people onto. We want to be on chain. We want people to be safe. So
yeah, and when you have a hardware wallet, you also you learn how it works a lot more. I've seen a lot of newcomer I have MetaMask and they have a hot wallet and they have $50,000 in it, and I'm like, you're insane.
Yo.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Get a hardware wallet. You understand how it works, the seed phrase and all of this. It's way because a lot of people would just open MetaMask. Yeah, record that seed phrase. Yeah, whatever. One day. It's like no. You have to. It's important. And so yeah, I have a Grid Plus also, but it's really big.
Yeah.
It's really big. It's good. It's for cars and all this, but it's more I'll say more institutional. I think they're working on a smaller one, but yeah, the Grid Plus is pretty good. 1Password. I have so many of them, like Password or whatever. It's a Bitcoin one only. Just get one. If you're starting Ledger, Trezor, it's kind of like the obvious choice. Keystone. I have to test it. Never have one, but I'll test it. Yeah.
Okay. So there's for that. Okay, and then just any other things here.
So hardware
wallet.
Tracking, just start early. When my accountant asked me what I did in 2014, it's really hard to remember. It's like, it's been 10 years, dude. I don't know what I've done. So unfortunately, I have to write off stuff or say it's a full loss or say it's a full revenue. Full revenue really suck, by the way, because you pay full tax on it. If you had a cost basis, if I was able to know the cost basis of the asset, and then I could say, well, now I sold that for, I don't know, 10 grand. It's not 10 grand of revenue. Because I don't know the cost basis, it's too old. I have to pay full tax on this. So I pay more tax than I should because I didn't track everything since the beginning.
Oh, Mayday.
All right.
We just have some people working upstairs. No worries. It's not, nobody died.
So yeah, start tracking early. I'll shill Octav. Use Octav if you're an EVM. It's way easier. You can put some note. You can put some category, everything. But yeah, track your stuff. That's for sure. One thing we didn't say about hardware that I forgot to say. The beauty of a hardware wallet also is because it's kind of give you a 5 second of reflection before you do the transaction. And sometime it happened to me. I decide to not do the transaction. And I'm like, I'm gonna happen this. That's not a good idea. Let's not do that. And it's good. So yeah, it's crazy. But that little hardware time that you need to think about it is this. And then if you're doing your tax perfectly, if you have 50,000 transactions, you're gonna cry. So it's good to sometimes just have a bit less transaction, but more. You thought a bit more about your transaction you're gonna do. It's crazy, but yeah, make a difference. But yeah, hardware wallet, track everything. Split on the hardware wallet, like I said, for your asset. OPSEC, also OPSEC. I've been crypto since 10 years or more. I don't do a lot of these talk. That's part of the OPSEC. No, I know it's gonna be on YouTube and all this, but yeah, OPSEC. I've seen a lot of people flashing watches and all of this, and they're like, "Hey, conference and private jet and all of this." You can be a target. You'll be a target. Back in the time, and I'm gonna look really old, but Jameson Loop got swatted at home because someone knew he had money. So yeah, OPSEC is super important because you're your own bank, so you have to know how to do this. One fun fact that I kind of find crazy is Vitalik. When you see him in the street anywhere in the world, he just walked by himself. There's no security or anything. And if you look at the founder of Chainlink, there's 25 armed guard around him. So it's like different OPSEC. Just make sure you have an OPSEC way. Do not talk about how you do your OPSEC. Don't ask me how I do my OPSEC. I won't tell you. That's part of the OPSEC. But it's super important to understand that you're your own bank. You cannot call Visa or whatever the bank and say, I've lost this. So make sure you have a good OPSEC.
Beautiful. So how do you feel about like the way Canada is viewing kind of taxes and how they look at this in comparison to other places? Or I don't know. Are we doing good? Are we killing it, or is it? What do you think?
Well, I don't want to go too much in geopolitics stuff, but one problem I'll say from Canada is that because we're a neighbor with the U.S., often we won't take a position just because we're waiting to know what the U.S. position is going to be. So if the CFTC say something, so if you decide like, oh yeah, you can trade this and it's not taxable, and then CFTC says otherwise, the government kind of going to have to roll back because they need to follow CFTC because we're so close. So I think we're kind of like always the underdog waiting for something to happen in the U.S. And then if you look at what's happening in the U.S., it's not that good. Lately, it's better. In the last like few months, is like I have a hope. But I don't think we're really doing great. Like I said, Naked Face in 2015 went to the government of Canada. We've tried a lot. We've tried to talk with them. It's really hard. When I did my voluntary disclosure, I work with the government of Canada, the CRA and Revenue Quebec in Quebec. They're open to understand how I work, but like they still ask me to send them a fax. So you have to have to understand who you talk to, right? Like if I go and I talk about DeFi and they're like, "Can you fax us this?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure. I know now who I talk to." Yeah. So we're far away from this. They've put in the news that they've put so much money in Canada to like track who own money in crypto. Yeah. But I'm really curious how they're gonna be able to like do this,
especially with the facsimile. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't ask people to fax.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we're not there. I've tried 15, 20 tax company. My dad owned a tax firm, a big one in Quebec. He was not able to do my taxes. It's just like, Matt, I don't understand the hell of this. I went to we're part of KPMG Venture. They invested us like in time and all this. We work with PwC. I have a committee with Ernst & Young, RBC Bank, TD. I work with the bank. We're really trying to kind of explain to them how I work, but they are like 10, 20 years behind. Like RBC Bank were telling us like, what's the merit of crypto? I still don't understand why crypto is useful. I'm like, wait, just let me give you one example. I was in Miami trying to send money to my lawyer for my corporate account. And it's more than $20,000, so I have to have a signature, and actually I have to have two signatures. But I'm in Miami, my director of ops, which is the other signature, is in France, and I need to go in Montreal to sign the paper to pay my lawyer. And so I'm like, no, but I can't do it. Can I just like have a DocuSign or something? He's like, no, you can't. But if you print the paper, sign it, take a photo, send it to your director of ops. He's going to print it, sign it, and fax that to me. We'll do it. I was like, you kidding me? It's like 100 times less safe than a DocuSign or a transaction like on a Trezor or Ledger,
or like
right?
a multi-sig. Yeah. So now we have these beautiful multi-sigs.
Exactly. So I was shocked because it's less safe, it's super complicated. And then the day after that, I invested in AveChan initiative with Mark Zeller from Ave, and literally in 5 seconds it was done. I was like, wow. But the banks still think that there's no merit. So I was like, what? Like I can invest I invest in company in Switzerland, super easy. If you ask me to send USDC, one company said, we're pretty Web 2, so can you send us a check? I'm like, wait. I almost stepped back on the investment, but I was like, no, it's a good idea. I'll do it. I had to go to the bank, give them Canadian dollar for Sweden dollar. It was complicated, tax change, plus like, oh yeah, we charge $100 just to do the check. And I was like,
good gas fees.
Yeah,
gas
yeah.
fees.
When people complain about gas fee, I'm like, you know what? It's not too bad actually, depending on how much money you move. But if you move some money, like gas is nothing. So yeah, I think we're not there in Canada. Like technology is not there. Our tax system is super complex in the entire world. Like we work with people from Australia, we work from people from all the Europe, like Netherlands, and all this, and Canadian tax and U.S. tax is so complicated, really, really. And I see people from PwC and all this. I'll be careful, but it's complicated. It's really complicated. So I think we're not doing that great in innovation. The new tax stuff also with 66% instead of 50%. Like, there's a lot of stuff. But I think recently it's like it's going in the right direction. Hopefully. And we have the job to promote and try to help them understand how it works. So,
yeah, exactly. Do you see people in Montreal? Are you hearing more people trying to get involved in this politics stuff? Or
yeah, like I said, we have a small committee with RBCX, Osler law firm, Ernst & Young, and AMF. And so I do also some presentation at EMF. I'm technically like a expert criminal for any crypto crime and with AMF. I help RICO, which is kind of a group of people in all the legalization and all the regulation of finance. So they're open. But like last time I did a speech with RICO and they say like, what do you think we need for us to understand crypto? I say, well, talk to us. Because like you do law talking to banker or crypto expert of like law firm or accounting firm, and they know nothing about crypto. Go get the young 22 years old crypto guy and tell him to explain you something. You'll be like, what are you talking about? And then that's crypto. So yeah.
Perfect. So again, just going maybe back towards like Octav here and everything, like what sets it apart from its like other competitors or other things? Like what's kind of the big...
Yeah, honestly, the idea is that when I started Octav, I was at Zapper before, so I knew what to do, what not to do, and so on. And then I always tell my employee and everyone I work with is like, the moment you can do this address, I have a pretty degen address. If you can do this address perfectly with Octav, we can do any address in the world. Like we should be good, you know? So I think the big differentiation is that we're not just a portfolio. We're not like trying to integrate everything manually. When I started Octav, I say, guys, it's impossible to integrate everything manually. And we've seen that a little bit. A lot of people say, hey, Zapper doesn't track everything anymore. DBank is tracking more, but it's hard. They don't track like Cosmos and Hyperliquid. Shout out Hyperliquid. We support Hyperliquid because we went and worked with them. I think when I started Octav, I said, it's impossible to integrate everything. The app chain will arrive. We have a lot of L2, L3, and whatever it is going to happen. So we need to find a way to make it automated. I'm a robotic engineer. I was like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing in software. So it's actually a machine learning system. So the way Octav works is that we gather a lot of information, kind of an aggregator of information, and then we show you the information, but we also let you interact with Octav. So if I have a transaction and I don't know which protocol it is, I'll ask you, hey, you've deposited ETH into an unknown protocol. Can you tell me what it is? As soon as you edit the transaction and you validate this information, our machine learning every day, every hour, will look at it and say, okay, I have one person that told me that this contract belonged to Curve. And then when we reach a certain threshold of people telling us the same information, we can like, okay, now we're pretty sure we have a good confidence level. We'll push that to everyone. So it's kind of like a collective intelligence working together to track and label everything. That's really the idea. And one thing that I've seen with the data structure, like data company, the Web2 company, I say, is that there's a lot of competition and not a lot of collaboration. When I started, I was like, no, wait, I come from, like I'm an OG crypto. To me, it's composability and let's work together and open source. And we're really close with the DeFi Llama group. Xerox Not Gonna Make It is one of my good friends from back in the time. So they have Llama Folio, and we work to integrate stuff in Llama Folio. They're not sure now, sadly, to continue because it costs too much money. I said to Xerox Not Gonna Make It, we're gonna take Llama Folio, keep it open source, and merge it with Octav. We're gonna like make sure it's gonna stay alive and all that. So the idea is that I think there's a lot of data company like Alchemy and like I don't know, like QuickNote and a lot of supplier. Sure, yep. They have their database. It's centralized, and if you want, it's gated. You have to pay to go get the data. That's not crypto, or at least let me pay in USDC or in a token. Let me like let me use crypto. And also, if it's more decentralized, everyone can build on top of this, right? You can like different protocol can build on this, and the same data you can be sharing all this. So that's really the idea. This is where we want to go with Octav. We started a bit more close to kind of have a proof of concept that everything worked, but we're really opening everything and expanding to make sure that we can be open source and we can make sure that everyone can build on top of what we've built. So
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Cool. Well, I'll open it up to the audience here. If anybody's got questions here around, I don't know,
Anything.
accounting, taxes, Octa,
History.
anything, history. Yeah, even whatever.
Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah.
Is Octave ready to use right now?
Yep. You can go on OctavFi. We have the app.octav.fi, which is an app, and then to have like the premium package, you mint an NFT. So I never know your address. So a lot of our investor and myself, I also have an add-on account. We have like Mackie, we have Block Enthusiast, Chop, a bunch of add-ons. So we did the application. It's fully add-on. We never have your data on our database. It's all run local storage, all in the front end. Everything is there. Super complicated. There's a little bit of stuff you cannot get, like when we calculate your cost basis and P&L. I cannot calculate your cost basis and P&L as a bundle if you use the app, because I don't know your address together. I don't want to link your address together in the backend. Fun fact or bad fact, but if you use Zapper or DBank, they know your bundle. So just fun fact. So we didn't want to do that. So on the apps version, we don't have this. And we have a pro version more for like institutional, because they actually just report all their address. They don't care to share their address with us. So we have the pro version. You connect with an email. You can pay with Stripe. It's more like TradFi or Web2, let's say that. But we have two versions. So yeah, you can use the app. What a lot of people do is going to use the app.octav.fi, learn how it works, see the benefit, and then, okay, I want like the full stuff. I'm going to go in the pro version.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Oh. Take the mic.
How? What's the max amount of wallets you can bundle?
Technically unlimited. I know DBank is like 10 maximum. We've did a test with, we have a Gelato is one of our institutional client.
Mm-hmm.
They put 126 wallet with I think 5 million transaction. That was a good stress test, a really good stress test, but it worked. So yeah, unlimited address, because I honestly, like, I don't understand why a limit of 10. If you have 50 wallet, you want to have a bundle of 50 wallet. Worst case, charge me, but I want to be able to do it. So yeah, unlimited number of address.
Yeah.
Can you use it to find alpha from other wallets, like with DBank, or is it just private?
Yeah, recently we did that actually. We've opened kind of like at the beginning you had to sign in to prove that you own the address. It was to make sure we limit the number of requests we had. But recently in the last, I don't know, 3-4 months, we opened that. We call that the observer. So I have a lot of like all the DGen score, top 20 DGen score. I just refresh every hour. Like, what the hell are they doing? Can I jump in? And it's way easier to see your transaction and navigate there. You can see really what they're doing and which protocol. Fun fact, a lot of DGen are actually using us, so they will label their transaction. And so you'll see like they've dumped in this new protocol that no one know about it. They will label this. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So a bit of alpha there.
Yeah.
Want to go alpha hunting.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody else?
Don't be shy.
Oh, take the mic.
So MetaMask Institutional has been working on similar reporting features.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, are the competitors? How is yours better or anything?
Yeah. There's actually a lot of portfolio company. Like we've looked at the competition, like environmental, see like who exists and all that. There's a ton of it. The problem is they all work by themselves, like I said earlier. So they have their data. So for example, is that token a spam or not? Well, it depends who you are. Like someone can say it's not a spam, but the other portfolio would say it's a spam. So there's no like kind of like standard or whatever. And they work for institutional. And what we've realized is that institutional are less degen. They're gonna like be really like, oh, I'm gonna go in Aave because it's safer. I'm gonna use Yearn and like really like small basic stuff, but they won't do like 4, 5, 6 level. So normally if you use MetaMask portfolio, you won't be able to like really see all the degen stuff you do. So it's different. And we hope to work with them actually. Like we've contacted a lot of dashboards to say, hey, let's work together. There's actually like a new group called Open Label Consensus or whatever they call that. I don't remember the name. But Sam CZ's son is in this. Storm from Paradigm is in this. The Graph P or the P Graph or whatever. There's a bunch of like Block Scout, Root Scan. There's a bunch of different companies that are trying to like, hey, let's do a standard at least to work together. So it's happening, slowly happening, because a lot of institutional are coming. And the structure that we have is good for degen because people just want to have their portfolio. Oh, I have $5,000 more than yesterday, but institutional want to know way more than this. What's my profit? What's my loss? So I think that in the future, like 6 months, a year, 18 months, we're going to see a lot of collaboration between portfolio. And again, it's crypto. I don't care. I want to have competition because then I don't sit on my back and do nothing. And competition is good also if we share information and we grow that information together. Yeah.
Do you export all your transactions into a CSV file, or how would
Yes.
that work?
The pay version, you can do that. So if you either mint the NFT or pay with the pro version, you can export the entire transaction with your node, with the category in CSV. And you can also create a report with super beautiful pie chart. What we do at Octav, actually, we have all our treasury in crypto DeFi. We are in like degen stuff. And then we do a report every month to our investor. So some of our investors are starting to ask their portfolio company to say, hey, can you export Octav report of the treasury? And we're working also like with Gearbox, Gelato, Alchemix, a bunch of different DAO to make sure that they start creating this report for the community. So yeah, you can export reports, pie chart, and you can export CSV, all your transaction.
Amazing.
Sweet.
All right. Anybody else? Last questions? All right.
Rock and roll.
Perfect. Was there anything from online? I don't think there was any messages. I don't think I saw anything there, but all good. Yeah, I don't know. Any final thoughts, questions, concerns, comments?
No, thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of
I
course.
love this place so much. I'm a bit sad because what you told me yesterday. I don't know if everyone knows it.
No, yeah, everybody knows that
Yeah.
we are limited, you know. But
I am really sad about this. I came here 4 years ago with Mackie, and I was like, wow, this is to me. This place is the definition of crypto. You know,
Yeah.
it's a basement. Do not rent a first floor or second floor. You
Well-
need to rent a basement. You know,
everybody wants to stay in a basement. But
the basement is the place. The sticker, like it's a trip of memory. Like I walk and I see stuff and I'm like, oh, 2013, 2014. Like I the name and all of it's just awesome. I love that. It's a bit like Bitcoin Embassy. I miss that. Like in Montreal doesn't exist anymore. Really sad. But yeah, super happy to come here. Always nice. I guess if I come every 4 years, next time I'm here, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be in the new place.
probably in the new place.
In another basement.
Pardon?
Oh, in another,
basement. We'll see.
hopefully.
We'll see. Maybe it's going to be a half basement or something.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks. It's awesome. Super
Yeah.
nice.
Good having you here. Thanks for coming out. And if people want to find you, Octav, anything, they're
Octav.fi. That's the website. Twitter, mbarrel010. Twitter of Octav is OctavFi.
Octav. Okay, yeah. I think we've got we've got your Twitter handle on there, so if people find you there.
Awesome.
Then,
Yeah,
link
it's
it.
always mbarrel010. I did 3 years in the army, and that's my army number.
Is
Yeah.
010.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
army
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. Okay.
So if you want to find me, just mbarrel010. Telegram is also this. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Okay, sweet. Alrighty. We also have a PO app for today, so I haven't tested it yet, but yeah, everybody that attends can please mint the PO app, and yeah, feel free to hang out for a little bit afterwards. If you don't mind, fold up your chairs and we'll tuck them behind the door, and we'll see you all next week. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.